You're not attracted to people who need fixing because you're compassionate. You're trauma bonded to people who make you feel needed while slowly losing yourself, because that's exactly how love felt in your childhood. By the end of this video, you'll understand why you keep choosing people who take everything and give you back nothing. Also, you'll learn how trauma bonding disguises itself as love. And lastly, you're gonna walk away knowing why your need to rescue others is actually you abandoning yourself again and again and again. What if I told you your attraction to emotionally unavailable people, it isn't just bad luck. It's your nervous system recognizing the familiar chaos of home growing up. Somewhere in your childhood, you learned that love meant being responsible for someone else's emotional well-being, and maybe you had to manage a parent's mood to keep the peace. Maybe like me, you were the family mediator, therapist, or emotional caretaker. And maybe like me, the only time you felt valuable was when someone needed fixing. I had a client not too long ago who kept dating men who would share together on their second date their deepest traumas, and then he would disappear for weeks. So she couldn't quite understand, like, why the heck do I feel so addicted to these relationships? So we discovered, doing the inner child work, that she discovered she had an alcoholic father growing up, and she would be his emotional support person. So he would have an emotional breakdown where he'd tell her that she was the only person who understood him. And then he'd ignore her for days when he'd be drinking. Her nervous system learned at a very young age, love is being someone's everything, then being treated like nothing. Connection comes through crisis. I matter most when someone is broken. This is what the trauma bond programming sounds like. I'm only valuable when someone needs me. Healthy people won't want me. If there's no drama, there's no passion. And it sounds like saving others proves I'm worthy of love. The sad truth, you became addicted to people who give you crumbs of validation in exchange for your entire emotional energy. You mistake intensity for intimacy, chaos for chemistry, and being needed for being loved. Trauma bonding isn't love. It's your wounded inner child still trying to desperately finally win the impossible game of earning love from someone who just can't give it to you, who just won't give it to you. So why do you keep pouring from an empty cup while they take everything and they give you nothing back? Because your inner child believes that if you can just love them enough, heal them enough, be patient enough, they'll finally choose you. You're not trying to save them. You're trying to save the relationship with your emotionally unavailable parent. Here's the self-abandonment cycle. So first, you ignore your own needs, and then you pour all your energy into their problems, their needs, and then you feel resentful, but guilty for feeling resentful. And then you give more to prove you're not selfish, and now you are completely depleted, and they still don't appreciate you. And then repeat. And here's the cruel irony of all of this. The more you sacrifice yourself, the less they respect you. The more you chase their approval, the more they withdraw. You're essentially teaching them that your needs don't matter while wondering why they treat you like your needs don't matter. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a giant hole in the bottom while using water from your own precious well. You keep pouring and pouring and pouring, thinking that if you just give enough water, the bucket will finally hold it. But the holes only get bigger and your well only runs dry. You're not helping them. You're enabling their emotional immaturity while teaching your inner child that self-abandonment is love. Every time you rescue someone from the consequences, the results of their choices, of their behaviors, you rob them the opportunity to grow, to learn. And most of all, you rob yourself the energy to heal your own wounds. So how do you stop attracting people who need saving and start choosing people who are already relatively whole? Follow these 3 steps. So step 1, recognizing the pattern. Step 2, grieve the fantasy. And step 3, redirect your rescuing energy inward. So step 1, when it comes to recognizing the pattern, the next time when you feel the familiar pull towards someone's problems or their potential, pause and ask yourself, am I being drawn to their pain because it feels like home? And am I trying to save them, or am I trying to save the child in me who couldn't save my parent? Step 2, grieve the fantasy. So acknowledge that you can't love someone into emotional maturity. You can't love someone into emotional availability. And you can't heal someone who doesn't want to heal. The fantasy that your love will finally be enough to change them is the same fantasy your inner child had about your parent. Step 3, redirect your rescuing energy inward. Instead of asking, how can I help them? Start asking, how can I help myself? So begin pouring all the caretaking energy into your own healing. Become the person who saves you. My client that I mentioned earlier, she started noticing her patterns, her attraction to fix-it projects, she called them. And instead, she began asking herself, she began pouring her energy, her attention inwardly, asking, what would it feel like to date someone who doesn't need fixing? And to be honest, at first, dating people who are stable, relatively whole, it felt kind of boring for her, but also it made her feel anxious because her nervous system, right, was addicted to chaos. But as she continued healing, she started craving peace, predictability, instead of drama, instead of ups and downs and uncertainty. The moment you realize that healthy love doesn't require you to disappear, to lose yourself, everything starts to change. You start setting boundaries instead of building rescue missions. You choose people who add to your life instead of people who drain it. And I wish you nothing more than to experience this, to create this, to attract this. When you break and heal the trauma bond, you discover that real love doesn't ask you to save anyone. It asks you to show up as yourself. You begin to attract people who are already doing their work on their own instead of people who want you to do their work for them. In the comments, I want you to make a vow. The vow can start like, I will no longer attract, insert, emotionally unavailable men. Instead, I am attracting, insert blank. So make a vow in the chat, share, I am no longer attracting, insert. Instead, I'm attracting, insert. Whether it's romantic, whether it's friendship, whether it's like business, collaboration, please make and share your vow in the comments. And if you've been loving what you're learning here, please give this channel a subscribe. This will really help get this work out there. Because my mission here is to leave the world a more safe, empathetic, and kinder place filled with more emotionally mature adults who love themselves, who choose to be kind, and they're in their power. Remember, You're not responsible for healing anyone other than healing yourself. You can support people, but you can't do it for them, especially if they don't want to do it, right? And like always, thank you so much for being here. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for learning with me, and let's keep growing.